Two brothers are here to give you the cheat codes to inspire you to find your way out of that box, that cube, that ceiling. And they are here to get you out of your grind on the 9 to grind. 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 The 9 to grind.
What's good, everyone? My name's Max.
And I'm Stevie Wonderful, of course.
Welcome to the 9 to Grind show.
We're there.
We're there. You know, and the 9 to Grind. Come on, my guy. The 9 to Grind.
I want you to see the jingle. Yeah, the bubble of that one.
It is a little bubbler, you know. There's a reason why we selected that, but, you know, it's nice. Let's just say it's nice. It's got that smooth butterfield. why that butterfield? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one. The R&B.
The R&B. Sunday jams, you know what I mean? Mutton's cooking. Because man, the coconut coming from the rice and peas.
Too much seasoning.
Too much sauce.
Yeah.
Right, but there we go, man. So,
what are we talking about today, D?
today we're talking about the toxic workplace, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all worked in one.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Awesome,
we've all had
awesome,
experiences, and I think, yeah, it's crazy when you think about toxic workplaces, because you really think about it, you go through the whole interview process where everyone's really selling you that dream.
It looks good, eh?
Yeah, it looks great. It's like, it's a family feel, it's a wonderful environment, everyone collaborative, and they say all the words.
Yeah.
Are you looking for them red flags?
I was just about to say, do you think, right, so toxic workplaces exist, right?
Definitely, 100%.
Now, when you enter one, you don't know you've entered it until you're a few weeks in, doing the job. But the question I got to ask is, how did you not see it in the whole interview process?
You know,
is it because you're almost applying for a job in desperation for the role? So the things that you see once you know the money's secure, you didn't see when the money wasn't guaranteed.
You know what? Toxic workplaces, very similar to toxic relationships. Do you get
Okay.
Like,
interesting.
People will always put their best foot forward and never really show you their true colors. So you go in, you're applying for a job with good intention.
Yeah.
We don't know if the person's intentions are really good when they're applying for the job anyway, for whatever reasons, but you're applying for a job. So you're presenting yourself in the best light. You're not going to say anything incriminating or that's going to change someone's perception of the business. When you're selling your business, because it's a two-way thing, the person that's being interviewed is selling themselves. And then ultimately you're selling the opportunity in the business.
The job.
The values
the
and
benefits,
everything. Yeah, the benefits.
Whatever
Back to that person. So you're never going to sit there and highlight
the toxicity.
The issues and the toxicity within the workplace.
I find that managers now are becoming more open with, just explaining what's going on in their teams. Like if they've got a problem to fix, say for example, you're a sales business, you need to generate £1 million a year in sales, and you've been doing 700,000, 800,000, back down to 750, up to 770. You just can't quite get to that £1 million. And the problem is, it's going to be the restructuring of the team, making people who've been successful for many years re-challenge themselves because they're, as far as they're concerned, I'm good.
Complacent.
Right. So sometimes hiring a new person, you will say, these are my issues. My issues are X, Y, Z. And I need to address these issues, which is why I'm hiring. Which is why I'm looking at you.
And I think it's important when you listen to the questioning and the types of questions they're asking you in the interview.
Correct.
So before accepting that position,
are you easily distracted?
And it's all about the questioning, and it works both ways. You have to listen to the questions that are being asked, and then you have to think about the questions that you want to ask based on those. So why are you recruiting for this role? Tell me about the last person that was doing this job. Why did they leave? And what are the challenges in this position?
What does success look like? What does success in this role look like?
And the problem that you have in interview stage, they can tell you anything, but you don't know until you're being successful and you've been given a job, and then the truth comes out and you see the environment, you see the toxicity, and you realize, oh, this is why you struggle to keep anyone within the business. But question that I want to ask you before we touch back on that is, what would you describe as a toxic workplace to people that might be watching and thinking, is my workplace toxic?
I've worked in one.
Yeah,
so my opinion of what a toxic
so it's always going to be opinion, it's not fact.
My opinion of what one is, it would be a workplace where you don't feel you've got a voice, where you don't feel you can be yourself, where you'll feel like everything you do is almost micromanaged. As a leader, I'd like to believe that if I'm paying you a salary to do a job, I trust you to do the job to the best of your ability. If I'm micromanaging you, then ultimately I'm telling you I don't trust you.
Exactly.
So I feel like, that would be my explanation of what a toxic business looks like. A toxic business is one where there's no camaraderie amongst the team. People don't look happy. Nobody's striving to achieve and be the best version of themselves in doing the job. Again, I will always talk about my experiences, which have always fallen in recruitment and sales. To me, I used to say to my colleagues, like, I want us to be like the top performing sports teams. Because they understood sports. So if they understood, and the camaraderie, and everybody played their part, and if everybody played their part, then that meant the team moved closer to glory. Not every football team, and I'll use football as the analogy, is made up of world-class players. But every successful team has everybody playing their part, actually to the best of their ability.
The water carriers, everything.
So I used to use that analogy, and I'd also use the analogy of, if I've got people in my team drilling holes in my boat, because whilst I'm rowing, because I'm trying to get from point A to point B, but I might not even make it to point B if I drown. So I used to try and communicate that to members of my team, let them know basically this is what we'd be looking for from our staff, from our workers. And naturally what you will get in every workplace is people who think they know it better. People who think that what they think is the answer. Sometimes it is, but it's always about the proof is in the pudding. If you can show me that that's the answer, then I'll believe you. I don't believe that I know everything, and I always would say that to my team as a leader. I don't know everything, so I'm willing to be shown something, but I want you to show me that that works, and if it works,
then we'll do that.
Then we'll do it.
And that's the sign of a good leader, because for what I've experienced when I worked in toxic environments, it's like you've got a team in place already that are already unhappy, as you touched on. There's a lot of toxic issues and people might have lost their jobs and been made redundant. You've come in and replaced someone that was like the person in the team, and like now everyone resents you and they've got an issue with you because and
you're the leader. You've come in above. And but the other flip side to that is, I've never had this issue, but the flip side to that is, when you've been friends with people and get promoted, people find it hard to deal with your promotion because you were their equal. And technically you are still their equal outside of that building. But in that building, there is a hierarchy. And actually I used to communicate that quite a lot to my guys. I don't want to tell you what I'm telling you, but I've got to tell you because I'm paid to tell it you. And you might not like what I'm saying, but that's the reality of it. We've all got jobs to do. And if I don't tell you or discuss this issue with you, guess what? My gaffer is going to be discussing their issue with me. So, I don't want to say shit rolls downhill, but sometimes it kind of does.
Shit literally rolls downhill. I never really wanted to be a puppet to the people at the top. And lose respect from people that I started at the bottom with. And I understand the position that you would have been in. So for me, it was more about my earning potential. But I always found that the toxic workplaces that I worked in were always around the characters within the workplace.
100%.
And you know what they say about one bad apple.
Yeah.
And you have that person, and I've seen it in so many teams that have been they've stayed in the job too long. They're unhappy with everything. They've tried to apply for different things and been unsuccessful. And then the whispers and the constant backstabbing and talking behind your back. And it just creates an environment where it impacts your productivity and how you...
Listen, 100%, man. So gossiping it's normal. Leaders expect it. I know it happens, but it's the most counterproductive thing that could ever happen on the floor. It doesn't matter whether you're blue collar, white collar, whatever. And the reality of that reason is you can't solve each other's problems.
You can't.
All you're doing is stirring each other up, winding each other up, and building each other up to a crescendo that the other person's actually not going to even see.
Yeah.
Because the conversation that say me and you are having a conversation and I'm moaning and you're moaning and I'm moaning. Guess what? When that finally comes out, it's not to you.
Yeah.
It's going to be to my team leader.
Yeah.
And how they react to me is going to be very different to how you reacted to me.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Guess what? This hasn't been a good practice. This hasn't been a good practice for my vent.
Yeah.
But I find that people naturally, they look for company.
Yeah.
Everybody, misery loves company.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So because misery loves company, if I'm miserable, can you be miserable with me, and can you have the same gripes
and dragging everyone
drag
down,
everybody else
yeah,
down?
yeah,
And I've seen it firsthand. I've tried to fight against it. I've spoke to people bluntly about it because I'm like, do you not see what you're doing? But some people don't.
They don't?
Some people don't, because to them the world owes them everything.
Entitled. And I've seen that so much, like working in those environments where you spot that miserable person, that person that's always, and you avoid them at all costs, because they will tell you all the darkest secrets about everything that's going on, just to change your perception and change how you look at that person.
100%.
So because they're trying to recruit you, and they're looking for allies, and sometimes you don't realize that you're being recruited for the wrong reason, and then you're standing by someone, and then you get caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, 100%.
That person has a reputation of XYZ within the business. Do you get what I mean? And I've seen that firsthand. I know people that are like it, and don't get me wrong. That's why I've always tried to be vocal with the people that matter when I was in a workplace, because I'm not toxic. If I'm unhappy with something, I'd rather have a conversation with you and speak to you about it. I don't need allies in what I'm doing, and I'm not trying to drag anyone down.
100%. And that, I guess for me as well, that was a very big thing. So I had a director that was very toxic. You know which director I'm on about. And I used to have to talk to her on a day-to-day basis about the guys that were that sat under myself. So I was a manager, she was a director, and then I had a team of salespeople. And every other day I'd be managing the emotions of my sales team because of something that director said. Now, the difference was I was a lot more thick-skinned because that director said things to me. But because I had ambitions in my career, it was I could look past it. Should I have looked past it? No. But did I look past it? Yeah. Because back then I was taught I'm going to have to go through the hardest of things in order to get what I want. And I did get what I want in the end, but I should never have had to go through.
But did it come at a cost?
100%, because I should never have had to go through the abuse that I did go through in order to achieve my directorship. And it wasn't that I achieved my directorship through abuse. The abuse had happened 3 years prior, but I never flagged it in as anything. It was just like, she's just waffling. And I've got my own ambitions. So actually, if I make my issue about what she's waffling about, that's going to discount me. It's going to go against me.
You, innit?
And that's mad that I even thought like that, but I did.
Yeah, because that's the reality, and that's your experience of working in that environment.
Come on.
Where you've seen people blackballed that should have gone.
Spoke out.
And a lot of people do tend to keep quiet. And question.
Snowden.
But one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is, so talking about what we've spoken about, what would you class as the red flags, some of the toxic language that you would look out for? Because for me personally,
language.
So some of the red flags.
Do you know what? I'll be honest, right? Because I appreciate in the world we live in now, the world's very PC. Everything has to be politically correct. You have to address people by their pronouns now. So, you can't even call someone Bab or you're right, hun. And I'm not saying that I would say that. I'm just talking about no, not hun, but I'm on about local dialect. Whatever your local dialect is,
I have the same, babe.
Or duck, or some cities.
That's black country.
Or some people say, you're right, duck, you're right, mucker. That is so unprofessional. But if I'm honest with you, I like it because it shows humanity. I don't feel like I'm working or dealing with robots. Character and anything. But I also, on the flip side, I also understand from a HR point of view why the professionalism is needed in certain spaces, because everybody's sensitive. So people are offended by the smallest of things.
Yeah.
You know, have you not seen that video? I think it's in Blackpool or Manchester. And it's a policewoman, and she goes up to the keys, and she says to him, "Can you move?" And he's like, "Sorry, mate, what are you doing?" And then another officer says, my fellow colleague asked you to move, and he goes, "No, he," and she goes, "Hey, and it's a woman officer, and it's like, look how, and she looks like a man. She does. That's the reality. Unfortunately, the offence was, she was already offended.
Yeah,
so it didn't matter what was even said. After that, offence was taken. So I feel like the more real people can be, for me, that's a green flag.
Yeah, 100%.
Not a red flag. I feel like a red flag in terms of language in a workplace is somebody blatantly swearing or cursing at each other across an office floor in front of other colleagues, and actually people sat there acting like they'd never heard it. That to me is wild. Because if I hear you cuss my man, I'm going to be like, "Yo, what did he say to you? What did you say? What's going on?"
And put it up.
But if somebody turns around and cusses somebody across the office and everybody sits there like, "That didn't happen," that's a big problem.
Turning a blind eye.
That's a big problem, bro.
That's a massive red flag. People turning a blind eye to things that they know are wrong, and they just like, this is how we do it here, and this is what it's like here, and it's crazy.
I've heard that. So
of course. And that's a red flag. Yeah, this is how we've always operated. We always do things like this, because you realise that you're in a business or a company or whatever it is that don't like change, that are not evolving, like companies that are just so stuck in their ways. And you see it in construction, you see it in so many other industries where if you don't like it, then leave. Because this is how we do things here. And we like to go to the pub, or we like. And so,
would you say that's more? And again, this isn't me singling out any type of business. Would you say that's more your SMEs, rather than your large corporates? I don't think large corporates can say, "We've always done it this way." I think they say that in a different way. They'll say that
they do it in a different way. Yeah, so they still do it.
They talk about policies and procedures.
Yeah, policies, and this is what I said about the language.
Policies and procedures.
Toxic language. So you're right in terms of the smaller SMEs.
They'll say, we don't do it like that.
Yeah, we don't do it like that. This is how
this is what it is.
And they will lay out the rules, what we do. This is how we do it. We might say some things that you might find offensive and give you a bit of like a disclaimer, like
let me tell you a joke. Jamaican man, an Irishman, and one of them jokes.
Yeah, one of them jokes there. Didn't mean to offend you, mate. Just a joke.
But they're just gauging the temperature in it. Feel like, what jokes can you take?
Yeah, of course. People do it all the time. They dip their tongue like, "Oh, is he sensitive or is he not?" But yeah, definitely. And then in the more corporate and bigger kind of organizations, you hear the kind of language that you used about, guidelines and this is our processes and this is. But it still happens. But they're just more covert with it. And you really have to like just kind of mind yourself. From one of the things that I always think about is that those environments are so draining. Like you burn out, and that you take it home. You do, because you go back to your partner or to your parents or whoever you live with, and then you're talking about this toxic environment, and you don't realize that is contagious, and you're becoming toxic because you're fueling it, you're involved in it, and like
you're carrying it, so it's a load. And naturally, I think if you work in a toxic environment, the minute you get out of that environment, the first thing you do is exhale. You breathe.
Yeah, of course.
You breathe out and you try and let go of what's happened in the day.
Yeah.
The minute you get home, the people that are there for you, so the people that actually matter, they then get the second wind
of course.
Of what happened all day. And it's for them to have to listen to that and then
become therapists.
Basically.
And become in a counselling session. And you almost feel trapped, and we've touched on, wow, he's paying my bills, but...
So, it's funny, right? So we talk about toxic teams. I've worked, you worked in the same team as me.
Yeah.
And this team was successful. But it was also toxic.
It was?
It was very successful, but very toxic at the same time. And that gaffer, me and you have both got the utmost respect for him.
Yeah, game
changer. Always will do.
Yeah.
But then when we deep it now, and how the handle he had on the team to make money, second to none.
Yeah, of course.
They made millions.
It's almost like he was almost like the Pep Guardiola or Jose Mourinho in terms of a football analogy of what we were doing. Because you know, when you watch football, and people that don't watch football, but they talk about running through brick walls for the manager and doing anything from. And I know that we weren't allowed to leave at 5:30. So when we had our interviews for that place, it's like, these are your working hours. But forget that. You come in probably 8 o'clock in the morning. A lot of nights you'll be leaving at 8 o'clock at night. Like, I don't want to hear about your lunch breaks. I don't care what's going on in your family or what you got to do. You come here and you grind and you work. And people almost felt ashamed, embarrassed. The first person to leave at 5:30.
Everyone's looking at you like, what? You
get what I mean? 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we're still there like, yo, who's leaving? That is toxic. You don't even realise it.
Toxic.
The fights.
It's toxic.
The office chairs flying over what? Yeah, it was crazy. You're like, what?
People swearing at each other naturally because everybody makes a lot of money and everybody wants to be the big I am naturally.
Of course it is.
You know what I mean?
Ego driven. It's just like, like, what have you done and that? You're banging the tables. I
used to love that.
It was. You get gassed in it, but you realise that it's like a toxic relationship.
Well, it's like Wolf of Wall Street. Like, if you just say Wolf of Wall Street, anybody who hasn't watched Wolf of Wall Street, watch it, and you'll understand, because it's basically like stocks and shares selling. Same kind of floor.
Selling people.
Same. How many call hours? What's your numbers? How many dials have you made?
Yeah, that was micromanagement on a wild kind of scale. I cut champagne and razor blades. That's what it is. Because 1 minute you're like, it's euphoric. You're like, yo,
I'm winning an Aston Martin. Oh, you could win an Aston Martin for the year. Yeah.
Crazy. And then you get back to the office, you realise you sacrifice so much to actually just do that. But it's balancing. Is it worth
the reward? Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Is the juice worth the squeeze? It's crazy. But we've had some crazy experiences with toxic managers and toxic workplaces and environments. But there's also so many healthy, productive and beautiful workplaces
100%.
where you just that, and when they say we are like family, and you're actually like, huh?
100%.
And it's like leaving a toxic relationship and then finding something that's healthy and good for you. I can be productive. I can say this, and I can spread my I can have a voice. I'm heard. So,
and where people want you to win, I always say, an environment's two things. It's not just the building. It's the people in it. Yeah. And if you can surround yourself above, to the side and beneath you with progressive individuals, then that means the environment, it doesn't matter about the bricks and mortar. Yeah. If the person above you supports you, pushes you,
and believes in
you, the person next to you pushes you, promotes you, believes in you, and then the team beneath you pushes, promotes, believes in you, then that environment's a perfect environment for you to flourish as an individual.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. No egos. Yeah. Like just people working together, everyone rowing in the right direction.
You feel it as well. There's been buildings, and off the top of my head, I've done so many client meetings over my years, but one building that I always used to walk in, and some of the guys that used to work for me who've been to this building with me can attest, was Austin Court. You know Austin Court? Yeah. Along the canal. Yeah. Beautiful building. Every time I walked in that building, I felt like, oh dear. Yeah. It just had that feeling. Don't get me wrong, we did some recruitment for them, which meant that they obviously lost people as well and hired people. But when I went there, I always had that feeling. Yeah. So there are many businesses that are definitely ethical.
And you see that, and I've worked in and currently one at the moment, which is completely different, which is probably on a smaller scale in terms of the volume and amount of people that they recruit. But in terms of that work ethic and that people actually really working together and collaborating and like, if you break your back, I'm pushing you in a wheelchair kind of mentality. Don't worry, but I've got this if you're not working.
Do you think that's because we were taught that our sector's dog eat dog, innit? Yeah. So our sector, myself and Stevie, we're best friends working in this recruitment business. He's on testing and Linux, and I was on network support infrastructure. I'm on .NET web dev, web development. And we're both doing, he's doing perm, I'm doing temp.
Yeah, he was doing temp.
But naturally, because we're friends, we're naturally competing. And it's not that we're competing, but we're looking at what's getting done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's
That was healthy competition, but the problem that you had in that workplace is that your colleagues were almost...
your supervisor and my supervisor are arguing about who's going to do a deal first, me or you. Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
but not only that, you have to watch them because they will stab you behind your back and
to make the deal.
Yeah, to make the deal and take the
sit on theirs
candidate,
and sit on theirs.
And it was dog eat dog. It was like, hold on, I thought we were on the same team. And you realise it was all about individual performances.
Correct.
And it wasn't like...
Well, the one team that did really work well together, and now super directors, they've got their own businesses, they've sold, they've built 2 or 3 businesses since then.
Yeah.
Sold and moved on. I saw one driving a Urus the other day down the expressway. I said, and he added me on TikTok actually, and I thought, I clutch, but I ain't said it to him. But and when you think about how they did it, what they did was they went as a team.
There was a team,
and they went as a team, and they did everything as a team, and all 3 of them ate really well,
and
really
they
well.
looked out for each other, and a lot of it stems from leadership and the management, and that cascades, and naturally.
Who was the leader that day? It was a Straussky. Dow.
Yeah, it's Dow. So, but
then the Straussky and Heggs killed it. And hats off to them because and Austin, but hats off to what they did because I remember, and Mitch, but what I remember specifically, for me, was a Strauss and Heggs and Avs. They had that NHS bit boxed, and what they did with that was they helped each other succeed. And through that, they were then able to go off and create these multi-million-dollar businesses that have served
like
them.
Real Madrid in their prime. They were like the Rolls Royce.
Man. And to our followers, what I will say, if you go to work and you have got someone in your job that's very good, tell them, let them know that you see their work and they're good at their job, and actually it inspires you to be better, especially if it does. Because there's nothing wrong with giving someone their flowers whilst they're there, because nobody's going to be there forever.
And I would say surround yourself with people, especially with the team. If you look at your manager, people that you can actually learn from that are better than you. One thing I would say is I did get complacent when I was the best at what I did because I knew I was carrying people, and it was just like, but
still
going
sharp
into
and steel, right?
still sharp and still. When I went into an environment where I wasn't the best, and they're doing crazy numbers, I naturally gravitated towards those people that were doing better than me. And I was just like, I want to learn how you do it. And there was no egos involved. It was like, and the team that I'm talking about, they're doing crazy numbers, but they just take it in their stride. There's no ego. There's no ringing the bells. There's no
what we do.
It's just, this is normal. This is what we do. This is our standard.
And you can't be a member of this team unless you perform to the standard.
If you're adding value and you really want to, you can't just come in there and give it the Billy Big Bollocks and we don't have none of that around here. So that's important, and that's what a healthy workplace looks like. When you feel like you can grow and you're in somewhere which might feel a bit uncomfortable, but you're actually flourishing and it's challenging you in healthy ways, and you go home and you're just like, this almost feels a bit too good to be true, because you're used to all the drama, the toxicity, and that's the kind of environment you need to stay in and actually just push yourself through and work through. But there'll be plenty of opportunities, and people will notice it in your everyday 100%. Life when you're working in a different 100%. Place. But I think that's been it's been a really interesting.
I've got one question.
Go on.
Coming from 2 successful people who've obviously been in a decent industry, made a decent living for yourselves, what advice would you give to anyone that's looking for a job right now? Someone that doesn't quite know where they want to go, but wants to enter a healthy, commendable job?
I'll let you go first.
My advice to anyone that's looking for a job right now, and I actually had someone come up to me and just said a similar question, what would you do? He was 21 years old again. I would try and find something and do something that doesn't feel like work. That's the best advice I could give to anyone. And also the people that you surround yourself with, it's all about growth. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Really think about what would it feel like work? What do you enjoy doing? Because money could be made anywhere. And I think people, because of society and unemployment rates, whatever, they're just desperate to do anything, and it makes you miserable. And like I said, we're doing this now. We put hours into it. It doesn't feel like work at all. Do you get what I mean? We don't even break a sweat. So literally do what you enjoy, find your passion, and just become exceptional at it, and someone will pay you for it, pay you more money than you probably ever imagine if you're good enough at it. So, yeah, that would be my advice.
My advice, first things first, is you don't have to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You can be an employee. And I think you should make a list, 3 to 5 companies that you'd like to work for in your career, whether it's at the start, in the middle, or at the end, and have those as down as a realistic objective that one day you'll get into those companies. Start obviously applying online, but if you can, and the businesses allow it, I would try and be a bit different and actually walk in. I know this is going to sound very old school. Everybody says we've got a recruitment line. You're probably dealing with AI when you apply for a lot of roles now. How do you stand out? A way for you to stand out is by walking into the reception, even if you've already applied online, and just saying, look, I've seen this job online. I can imagine there's been 150 applicants. My CV is going to be in that 150, but what I wanted to do, I was in the city centre today. I thought I'd come by the office, introduce myself to you. It may give you a leg up, it may not. But I think it would be good to make yourself look different.
Yeah, stand out from the crowd. And I have the same conversation with Cairo. He's leaving school soon, just completing his GCSEs, and he's going into the wild world, and it's very competitive for jobs. Everyone, even at the lower end, you think there's jobs out there, but everyone's like scoring around literally and applying for it. And yeah, face to face is what we used to do back in the day. And sometimes you'll get setbacks, you'll get rejections. You have to keep going. And it sounds bad, but it is a bit of a numbers game. It's not just like, you might get your first job you apply for the first time you do it, but there's going to be times when you're up against people that are as good as you, if not better. So how do you stand out and differentiate on what makes you different? And I think just doing something that you are passionate about and you love. Like for me, I think it's so important because it actually makes you feel better about it.
You know, one of the most underrated things that I think anybody, especially students, do is when they're, say that, for example, you're going to be, or you're graduating in hospitality business management, you want to run a hotel, and you've been at uni, or you've been at school, then you've gone to college, then you've gone to university to get your degree in business management, and during that time you've not done any voluntary work, nothing. I feel like if you can volunteer,
get that experience,
get the experience.
Experience trumps qualifications
every time,
all day long.
But if you've got both, then again you're a double-edged sword, and a double-edged sword's better than one blunt end than one sharp. So I think it's making sure you cover yourself in all areas so that you are acceptable, you are job ready, you are, if not somebody that I can hire now, somebody that I would look to hire the next time I'm recruiting. And that's the thing, how do you leave that little nugget,
memory,
memory in that person?
And we've done that.
Call you back.
The amount of times when someone's come in and like we haven't had something at the time, but you always remember them because of that first impression and engagement you had with them. Like that person has something about them. And I've taken so many people that worked in nursery,
or didn't have the skill,
didn't have the skill,
but had the ethic.
Of course.
I think a lot of my hires into recruitment were people who have never done recruitment.
Those are the best people.
Because it was all about your ethic. If you've got the right ethic, I can work with that.
I know you're a people person. So people that worked in hairdressers, worked in like hospitality.
Don't mind talking.
Don't mind talking.
If you don't mind talking.
People buy from people. But yeah, so that's my advice. But
how was that for you, cameraman? Good advice.
Good advice.
Thank you.
But yeah,
guys, let us know what you think. Did we miss anything? Are there any bits of advice that you'd give to other followers? Please put it in the comments.
And if there's any kind of episodes which you'd like us to talk about or touch on, share as well. Tell us. Let us know, because we're always looking for ideas. There's plenty to talk about in the workplace.
Where it goes down in the DM.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's been an interesting and an amazing episode. But as usual, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Man's adding too much seasoning.